Okay, I took a look at your feedback, and a lot of the stuff that you said was pretty accurate. Especially that part at the end where you said you felt like my project or my alignment chart was written for my reference and like referring to like what I was going to do to develop the e-learning instead of it being what the learner's going to do. Um, so I took your feedback into consideration and I tried fixing things up. Um, Really, what I was thinking about a lot while I was doing that was this wireframe that I had made of like what I plan to develop as my example activity. Um, so you'd get here, you'd have to start. That would link to that overview video that would serve as the absorb activity, talking a lot about the common causes of the problem, components related to the problem, safety hazards, and like actions for people. So this would be like all like one big overview, and like anywhere it says watch video overview in my alignment chart, that's what that refers to. Then, if you go back, so we would look at that overview and then we start running through those yes-no questions with the e-consultant, getting into that scenario-based learning that we've talked about throughout my Do and Connect. So those yes/no questions, they generate the material that the learner then uses. So we watch the video, we answer some questions, then some content is generated for us to further absorb and then try to do and connect by completing. So like anywhere it says watch demonstration or read procedure, like it's that stuff that's popping out after the e-consultant finds some things for us to do. This is some suggestions. Now what my concern is, so if you're looking at my chart, it's all very flat and integrated. And you're right. So the job aids are based around the responses, and it's trying to help you identify the problem and give you some tools to fix the problem yourself. Now, what my concern is I had some stuff like that quiz in there, things like that, that I don't think are really germane to if this was really like a thing on the internet that you wanted people to look at to try to solve. Like, I felt like nobody's going to actually take a quiz or something like that. So now my big concern is that in the revisions, if you're looking at my assessment column, it's all that scenario-based learning with the e-consultant except for that checklist where you're gathering tools and supplies. Now what I'm worried about is like, is that, quote unquote, enough stuff to, represent assessment? I get that we're in school, we're trying to show like all of our, bells and whistles and what have you. And I just feel like this project is really flat because it needs to be flat to work in the real world. So that's kind of where I'm stuck is, do I keep it flat and keep it real, or do I inflate it for the purposes of being in school? So that's what we can talk more about if we decide to have a phone conversation, and I'll cover that in my email, like when we can talk and whatnot.